Today we're going to do our mini Rothko paintings. You should have three 3x4-inch sheets of watercolor paper to work on this today. Remember, you have to do one with primaries, one with secondaries, and one with tertiaries. So I'm going to start my primary, and we're using tempera paint cakes today. So I get my brush wet, and I start mixing and stirring the water in. If my color is a little dirty, I can always pick some of it off and rinse it off in the cup to get down to the actual color. The other thing you can do with these is just pick them up, take them over to the sink, and wash them like a piece of soap. I get all that extra color off of there so I can get down to the yellow. So the first one I'm going to do is a yellow. It's okay if you get it on the table. Remember, our tables are washable, and this is washable paint, so no worries there. When you're working with tempera paint cakes, the more layers you put on, the darker it's going to be, but you do need to let those layers dry a little bit. So now I'm going to go up here and mix my blue. If there's a little groove in the center where it's been mixed over time, that makes it even easier to just keep stirring it around and around until you get the colors that you want. You can even come up on top if you want it to be a little thicker. But you want to keep mixing that water in the center until it actually becomes more of a paint or a thicker consistency. So now I have a little bit of blue. I'm going to put my blue on. And you can choose to overlap or not overlap, and you could do like little stripes elsewhere, as long as you're sticking to your primary colors. And then I have my red. I'm going to go through a nice bit of red on there. And then I'm going to add my reds on top. Right through there. I might do another skinny line here. And then I don't have any yellow on the bottom, so I might go through and pick up a whole bunch of real thick yellow on my brush, and then go through and do a skinny line here. Okay, so there's my first one with my primaries. I'm going to set that on the drying rack so nothing happens to it while I work on my secondaries. If you have any on your desk, if you don't want it to get on your next paper, just make sure you wipe it off with the cloth at your desk. And now for my secondary colors, I'm going to have to do some mixing, but I'm not going to give you guys palettes to mix in. I want you to mix on your paper. So you're going to start with a primary color, and then you're going to mix it with another primary color right on top of the paper to get your secondary, which is kind of an orange, right? I'm going to put an orange stripe down here, I think. I'm going to go through, I'm going to mix my other ones. Be careful when they're wet next to wet, because they will bleed into each other a little bit like the watercolors do if you're not careful. Always make sure you're drying that brush off pretty good. In between, let's see, so I did that one, then I might want to add just a little red to it, and then I'll rinse my brush off so that I can mix those two together to get a purple color. And if it's not purple enough, I can just go back, add a little bit more blue. I do want to make sure that it's a secondary color. I don't want it to end up looking like a primary color. Get the green in there. There we go. So I have my orange, my green, and my purples for my secondary colors. Again, I'm going to put those on the drying rack. Clean up my spot. Now tertiary colors, remember those are those in-betweenies, so like a lime green color. So if I'm going to start with that, I might start with a little bit of green in there. Rinse my brush, pick up lots of yellow. So now I have like a lime green color. I'm going to go back, let's see, I might do a really bright orange. So I could go through and add the orange. And then go back in with a bunch of yellow to make it brighter. Because those tertiary colors tend to have those nice in-betweens, right? And then I could go blue down here. just for kicks, we'll add in a couple of extra stripes in there. And then that one's going to go on the drying rack, and you're going to clean up your supplies. When they're dry, we'll mount them on paper. All right, so today we're going to be mounting our Rothko paintings, and first you have to decide which direction that maybe you want your paintings to go, if there's a particular feel that you have for them. And then we need to decide on a background color, and you might need to play around with that a little bit and check them out on each background. So I think I like the blue more than the pink, so I'm going to set the pink aside, and then I'm going to try it. Let's try them on the green. No, I still like the blue more than the green, so I'm going to set that to the side. Let's see. Oh, I still like the blue more than the yellow. Ooh, the orange is kind of interesting, but I think the blue is still a better pick. Things stand out a little better against the blue. So the blue or the purple seem to work best, but I think overall, I like them on the blue background, so that's the one I'm going to go with. Then I want to set them out so that they look fairly evenly spaced across here, even on both sides, and then next to each other. I'm going to take the glue, and you'll notice they're a little wrinkly because we did use water paint on them. So you need to add a nice little bead and an X of glue on the back, and then set it down. Don't push down yet. We're going to get there in a minute. If they're really curly, you might even bend them so that they flatten a little bit. I'm going to do the rectangle and the X. You're just going to drop it down. Make sure that it's kind of squared up around the edges. Same thing for this one. Bend it a little bit. Put a nice little bead on the back with an X in the middle. Drop it down where it's going to go. Oops, I think I had it the other direction. There we go. And so they're all fairly lined up. So then what I want to do is take some heavy boards, and you'll need like 2 or 3 of them. And then you're just going to drop it straight down. Push gently. You don't want to wiggle it at all because that'll make it crooked. And then we're going to leave this like this for 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and lift it off and be able to take a picture and put it on Artsonia and then on the drying rack to dry.